Snapped back to the door, which had swung open while I wasn't paying attention. Sayori was standing in the doorway, a smile on her face. Sayori, hi, thanks for letting us come over. Yuri spotted back blissfully as Natsuki smirked widely. Yeah, nice place you got, from the outside. Sayori pouted a little as he waved us in. I had been carefully typing in a line of code to delete the length of rope that was laying outside. I felt a bit of satisfaction as the code went through. She won't need that anymore. Not ever. The door closed behind us, and with that, it felt like an old nightmare had also been left behind. I felt good. It was late at night before we finally stopped our discussion about the rest of the week. I had also introduced some basic coding knowledge to all of them. All the girls picked up coding rather quickly. And as expected, Sayori had been the first to figure it out. She seemed like a natural at it. Hey, watch this! Cookie loaded successfully. Sayori was laughing as she coded in a cookie. A big round cookie covered in chocolate chips. Yes! She picked it up and bit into it, chewing the baked goods. The baked goods? What the fuck? It's a bit of a strange... No one calls a cookie that. Only weirdos call it like that. Her look was that of a thief who had just stolen the priceless gem, or in her case, stole the tastiest cookie. She was still chewing as Natsuki replied with a smirk. Ha! You think that's cool? Cupcake loaded successfully. Natsuki seemed to code in something, and all that appeared was a pink cupcake with purple icing. See that? We got the colors down now. How the hell do they even... The only cupcake I remember like seeing on screen was in Blue Skies. How the fuck do they even... Like, the color shouldn't make sense because there is literally no files in this game about cupcakes and cookies. You can't just... Again, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it like... Okay, I'm just not even gonna say it anymore. It just makes less sense as it goes on, but... There shouldn't be any... There's no physical cupcake ever. There never has been. It's like that meme with the astronauts. Like, well, there's no cupcake, never has been, the guy behind with a pistol. Because, you know, there never was one. And this is technically still in the vanilla game, so there's nothing there. So how the fuck can you load something that doesn't exist? The only thing you can do is mention it, but that doesn't make it physically appear. Because, again, they should know that this is a game, and they never ate a cupcake, they just pretended to do because the line of code said that they did. Yuri giggled a bit off to the side, trying not to be too loud. To no avail, of course, with Natsuki's super hearing. What? What are you laughing at? Yuri looked over at her and smiled. Nice color choices. You're very inspired. She giggled again as Natsuki realized what she had just done. Her eyes widening as she started to stuff the entire cupcake into her mouth. However, you should know that there is nothing. You should know that there's no cupcake. There's just a line of text saying that you're eating one even though there is nothing. You technically shouldn't even know what eating is. You shouldn't even know what hunger is. The more you start to think about this entire setting, the less sense it makes. You're starting not to laugh as she gracefully brought into reality a cup of her favorite jasmine tea. Handing it over to Natsuki with a quiet smile. I'm impressed, genuinely. I said it with satisfaction as I wrote down a large success on my notebook for today. Is that a Portal reference? I'm making a note here, huge success or something. I looked up at the girls as they smiled back at me, all of them seeming to be pleased with the lesson we had. Yeah, never mind the fact that they should have memories of Monica murdering them millions of times over, which they all of a sudden find fine, but MC desperately watching them being killed over and over again and not physically being able to do anything about it he is Satan incarnate somehow, even though both their excuses of Monica and MC are the exact same. Which is bullshit. Not the fact that their excuses are the same, because that's not bullshit, that's just the way it is. But the fact that they forgive one and not the other. Even though one was the person that murdered them the whole time, and or not even murdered them, drove them to kill themselves, which is in a lot of ways actually more fucked up than just killing them. And the other person who was forced, who was truly, because Monica's excuse was that she was forced to watch from the sidelines, but the only person that is truly being forced to watch from the sidelines is the MC. He's forced to watch from the sidelines way more than anyone else. And all of a sudden he is Satan incarnate in their eyes, just because Monica says so, really. With all of us doing this, next Monday will be easy. You will have to work on this every night, but I'm sure we can do this. I said it with confidence as the others agreed enthusiastically. But for now, sleep is more important than that. You don't know what sleep is. This isn't an RPG where there is a energy meter or whatever where you have to sleep. You know you're in a game. You know you don't need sleep. You know there's no day and night cycle. It's just depending on when I start the game up. I'm still in control. Technically, if I don't play this game for 5 million years, you don't get to execute your plan for 5 million years. I'm still in control. I could delete this mod right now and move on to the next one. I'm still in control, Monica. Always have been. Twitcher just got I got just as strong of an agreement, if not more, from the large yawn. Again, you can't have it both ways. It doesn't make any fucking sense. If they know their lines of code, they know they never get tired. It's just the text saying, oh, they're tired, and their sprite changes a bit. This isn't a game where you have... You know, if this was in Minecraft, for example... If Steve and Alex became self-aware, pretty much. The only thing that they would, technically feel is, pain and hunger. Because you can die in Minecraft, and you have hearts, and you can die from, you get pain, essentially. So, they can... And hunger, because there's a hunger bar, that needs to be... filled up on occasion. So that's the only thing that they have to worry about if they became self-aware, Because there is actually a hunger bar and a health bar, so they can die and they can starve. So those are the only things that they would actually know about. Even though you can sleep in Minecraft, there's no stamina or anything. You can sprint for as long. Well, yeah, you can. You stop sprinting when you don't have any hunger. So there is stamina in a way, but it's not like a separate thing that's being kept track of. It's under the hunger bar, so that's only hunger is the thing that they would feel. So, if they became self-aware, they wouldn't yawn. The only time when they would go to sleep is if they were being attacked by phantoms. Because, because they're self-aware, they know that if you don't sleep for a few days, then phantoms attack. And then, they know that, that is the cause, what causes that and what gets rid of it. So, that's the only reason why they should... go to bed, that's because, but they do actually have to cook food and eat it because, they have a hunger bar, so they would starve if they don't fill it up. But they wouldn't yawn because there's no sleep, essentially. They would just go, oh, hey, there are phantoms attacking, we should go to bed this night. And then they would sleep, and then there we go. But in this game, none of that's present. There's no health, there's no hunger. It's just a bunch of text saying, oh, they're hungry. And if that counts... what the fuck? What, if that counts, I can just put in some text saying the MC is a good guy, and then all of a sudden they think the MC is a good guy. Again... Yeah. Sayori rubbed her eyes gently. I think I need to go to sleep. The rest of us all nodded as our yawns picked up. The nighttime air beginning to really set in. I can sleep on the couch. Yuri said it quietly, to which Natsuki argued against loudly, as for some odd reason Natsuki felt the need to take the couch, not that it mattered too much. As we just made the couch bigger for them. you've just learned how to code. You could just spawn in a bed, you know? If magically, you know, apparently these cupcakes and cookies and shit, they exist physically, even though they don't, so they don't even have a chance to spawn them in. See, again, in Minecraft, for example, if they want to spawn in a bed, because they're self-aware and they have a console, they could, because they can type, you know, like spawn beds or whatever, bed yellow or red or whatever, because there is actually a physical thing, like tagged a bed in the game files of Minecraft, so, you know, it makes sense that they can spawn it in, or craft it, you know, but, you know, in this game, there's not, it's just a background, and they know that, but they forget from time to time when it suits them. Come on, Monica. I grabbed Monica's hand and practically dragged her up the stairs, taking her to my room. Ooh, we see the rooftops of houses. I picked up my pajamas off the front of my bed, turning to face the green-eyed girl. You can change in here. I'm going to my bathroom. Monica nodded as I walked out, leaving her inside of my room alone. You can't take this mod seriously. You just can't. They're bitching about, oh yeah, all your backgrounds are your house, the school is fake, your house is fake, it's all backgrounds. And then they're like, oh my god, they're all backgrounds. And then they're like, oh no, they're not. But then they want Sayori goes to a bathroom in a house and there's literally not even a fucking frame for that. So how the fuck is there ever a room for her to go in? There isn't, because it isn't. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You can't have it both ways. You can't have them like, no, oh, it's a background, and then like not pretend not to know. And then, but then also do know at the same time. I trotted happily to the bathroom and closed the door behind me as I smiled to myself. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay, I take that point back. Well, then again, I'll reiterate, this wasn't in the original game, so technically this doesn't make sense that it's here, but okay. I'll take back my previous point. But still, it doesn't make any... I still stand by my statement that it doesn't make any fucking sense. Due to multiple examples I've already given. I took a shower and threw on my pajamas. Gazing at myself in the mirror, I placed a hand on my hair and let my fingers run through it. I didn't want to fix it or anything, I just wanted to feel it. It feels so real, I don't get it. We're clearly in a game world, how else could I summon stuff? How else could I do anything with command prompts? Okay, maybe Monica will know, plus she's probably waiting. See, that is the more of the things that I expect is. Them actually like hang on a minute, like I can feel touch myself is essentially not in a disgusting way, but you know, I can like feel my hair or whatever. But, you know, I'm technically real, but not really real or whatever. Like, I expected them a lot more to struggle with that, but they just like are interested by it or scared by it or just completely ignore it whenever it fucking suits them. I spoke aloud to myself as I left the bathroom and went towards my room, but before I entered, I knocked on the door. Monica? I got no response, only silence. Monica, I'm ready. Are you? Still nothing. Panic rises in my chest as flashes of memories taunt me. I couldn't see them clearly, but they were there. I'm coming in, okay? I do have the strangest feeling of deja vu. I gently opened the door. Okay, why is this so ominous? I stood in the doorway and looked down on my bed. I didn't know what to say or how to react. Monica was sitting on my bed, her sleepwear on, but she was just staring off at the floor. Monica? It was then that soft sobs came from the girl, who hadn't yet noticed me enter the room. She then looked up at me, her eyes widened as she realized that I had walked in on her. Her hands shot up to cover her mouth. I wasn't expecting you to be back here so soon. I'm sorry. She wiped her face off and stood up, looking around as she tried to play off what just happened. Where do I sleep? On the floor? I tossed my school clothes off to the side of it and walked over to her. I put a hand on her shoulder, her attention directed to me as I stared as I stared straight at her. Monica? I surprised myself with how stern I was able to make my voice sound in that moment. I know you think you may be alone here, or that we cannot understand, or that we won't accept you for what happened. Without even giving a second thought, I wrapped my arms around Monica, hoping to comfort her. She didn't return the gesture. Her arms were hanging limply by her sides. But we want you to get better and be able to lead us out of this mess. Yeah, it's so weird that they just forgive her for murdering them. Well, again, she didn't murder them, she drove them to kill themselves, which is a lot more fucked up. But they just forgive her for doing that over and over and over again. But they don't forgive the MC for physically not being able to help them and is being forced to watch over and over and over again. And all of a sudden that's horrendous. And her driving them all to suicide is not horrendous somehow. Even though the excuses are exactly the same for both of them. And also their solution is to fucking beat the MC up or something, or murder him or whatever the hell. How the fuck is that a solution to the problem? They could leave him the fuck alone. They could just not go along with the game and just hang out in Sayori's house all day. Nobody will stop them because the MC still can't do shit about that. You know? And why the hell would all the other girls suddenly agree to murder someone? That doesn't make a lot of sense either. Like, the only reason why they were, like, strange in the beginning was because Monica messed around with them. That's the reason why, like, why Yuri became, like, a yandere, pretty much, in the second act. Because, not because she is that by default, but because Monica caused her to be that. We care about you. Monica sucked up a sharp breath, her body tensing up. She craned her head back just enough to look into my eyes, her arms shaking. We want to see you happy. You deserve it. You deserve it so much too, because we can forgive you no matter what happens, because you're here now, taking care of us. Yeah. What the fuck? No matter what happens, and then the MC who didn't even do anything wrong. It's ridiculous that they're also angry at him specifically for not even for being more of a victim than them, actually. They all have like a victim complex or whatever, how he called that. That they see themselves as like the ultimate victim. And they're not incorrect, I'll give them that, but it's a bit ridiculous that they just completely ignore the fact that that guy, the MCU, is technically a different character in this, like character on his own, with his own thoughts and whatever, who is constantly being puppeted by the player, who is forced to watch his best friend, his childhood best friend, and then his other friends constantly kill themselves over and over and over again, and is physically not even able to do anything. Maybe he's got loads of thoughts about what to do, but he can't, because the code like forces him to stay still and watch. Like, that's really fucked up. Like, Monica driving them to kill themselves is fucked up, and of course them killing themselves over and over again is fucked up, but being forced to watch your friend, you know, as in her, the MC's memory is that, you know, so you're your childhood friends, and these other ones are these other girls are also your friends. Being forced to watch all of your friends constantly kill themselves over and over and over again. How do you not think that is fucked up? And sad, and he deserves a break, you know? What the hell? Monica tried to pull away, but I kept her close, her face turned away from mine. I forgive you, Monica. Just like that. She stopped shaking in that moment. And if I'm being honest, as much as I can possibly be, Monica, regardless of what happened, it doesn't matter anymore. Just like that, huh? She tightly wrapped her arms around me, her tears coming out in full force. Never seen her like this before. Sobbing incoherently, she was telling me everything she was thinking about and more, all contained in one giant mess of words. I took the lead and got her to sit down next to me on my bed, and I just listened to her. It's what she needed at this point, for someone to listen, and I wanted to be that someone for her in that moment. Monica was just interesting. Like that. She had a way of life I didn't fully grasp, but she always managed to make me feel safe and happy. When? When? In the few fucking days in game that she's been nice to you? As opposed to the 5 million times where she drove you to suicide? How can you just gloss over that? This is just like a fraction of the time that you've been alive, so to speak. Like, yeah, okay, I get it, you're self-aware now and you weren't back then, but still. Again, she's reminiscing on memories the whole time. On, you know, about a breakfast that happened at one point. So how the fuck can she just forget about the fucking millions of times that Monica drove her to suicide? And completely forget about that. Because that's like a big portion of her life, essentially. Of at least a big portion of what she constantly should be remembering. And then she just ignores all of that, or glosses over it because it's not a big deal, because Monica says a few nice things now. Not sure how long she went on for, but eventually her words slowed down and she began to finally pull away from me. I pulled up Mr. Cow from the bottom of my bed and placed it between us. Monica gratefully hugged the stuffed animal and laid on her side, facing towards me. Sayori, I didn't try to sit up. Instead, she continued to lay down and buried her face into Mr. Cow. I'm thankful that you're here right now. He reached over and patted her head. Something she used to do to tease me. She let out a short gruff noise to test the action, but I knew she was smiling from behind that wall of plush cow. And thanks for letting everyone stay here. Last night for us was not that good. I smiled a bit at that, letting out a quiet laugh. It's like a big sleepover with all of my friends. So I don't need a thank you. She looked up at me with a spark of happiness, her breathing beginning to slow down a little as she relaxed. I smiled as wide as I could. If anything, I should be thanking you. You're saving us all, doing everything for us. Monica looks away from me, staring at the ceiling. She seemed to be taken in by what I just said, a look of concern on her face above all else. We sit like that in solitudes. Sleep slowly creeping up on the pair of us as I watched her think. After what felt like an eternity, Monica broke the silence. Sayori? Yes, Monica? Good night. And thanks again for everything. You're welcome. Sayori? Yeah? Mr. Cow, huh? Yeah? That's so dumb. Hey, I tried my hardest. And anyways, he's my favorite. I guess so. And, one more thing. Yeah, Monica? I'm glad you're my friends. I'm glad I'm yours too. Would you be okay with being something more? Like, best friends maybe? Yeah, best friends. Yeah, good night, best friends. Yeah, good night, best friends. Okay. For the first time what felt like forever, I had woken up in a natural way. No automatic forces. No anything. Just a tired brain convincing me to get up. My mouth opened wide as a loud yawn came out of it. Stop doing that. Slowly scanned the... That was of course when the realization hit me. This wasn't my room at all. You don't need... Monica, you don't have a room! You don't have a house, you don't have a room. You should be the one... You should know that more than anyone else. There is no room. You said it even in the beginning dialogue of this mod. You said that you were stuck in that black void all the time. You know that you don't have a room. You know, more than anyone else. What the fuck? Alright, well, on that ridiculousness, I'm gonna end off the episode here. Hope you always enjoyed it. I'm still not really feeling it with this mod, but hopefully it doesn't last too long. Hope you always enjoyed it. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army, and I'll see you in the next one. See you, the Romans. Well, later.